What is up, everyone? It's Zariel here, and welcome to another Yu-Gi-Oh 101 discussions video. I know I have not done one of these in quite some time, but it's time for a new Forbidden Limited list, or as the fans call it, of Yu-Gi-Oh, the ban list. Konami recently updated their website with the latest changes coming to the new format starting November 9th, and we're going to take a look at them. So without further ado, let's just jump right into it. So as you see right here, coming effective November 9th, 2015, these are the changes that they're coming to the game. First card on the ban list, right there on top of the list. Banned. Apoclephort Towers. Nobody should be surprised by this. Nobody should be surprised by Apoclephort Towers being banned. It does a lot in the right hands. Hell, not even in the right hands, because Cleforts don't take any skill at all. Let's just be honest. I know the Clefort players out there that normally play other builds that are similar to the Cleforts don't like hearing that type of shit, but let's be honest. Cleforts take little to no fucking skill at all. I mean, when you can master a fucking, well, not even master it, but when you can use and, you know, find a build that takes little to no effort to use, that takes no skill. You know, we've seen that with many builds in the past. The E-Dragons being, I guess you could say, the most recent before the before the Cleforts came into the picture. They didn't take any skill to use because they were fucking damn near broken. The Cleforts are damn near fucking overpowered, borderline broken, and Towers was the thing that kind of pushed them over the hump. So I guess to kind of balance them out a little bit more, you know, they did something with Towers. I wish they would have did something with that normal monster. I can't think of the name. I think it was Husk. I think it was Husk is the name of it. Because I don't really use the Cleforts, and I don't even go up against them that much. But I see them being played often. You know what I mean? I just don't go up against them that much. But I see what they do, and I see why they banned Towers. So that was actually a good call, in my opinion. Based on my opinion and how long I've been playing the game, that was a smart move. So I give them that. Sangan is, well, wait, no, not Sangan. Oh, Strategist and the Necros. Not really surprised by that either. I thought they would have like limited that to one. I think getting rid of Shrit is kind of like much in my opinion. I think they should have like limited it. I don't think they should have completely got rid of it. You know, I think it's kind of like, you know, a bit much. I think it was good to just to try to slow them down. I don't think you should have completely got rid of Shrit. I think in the future, I'm thinking about like the next format or so, they might end up bringing it back to one. I don't see them leaving that card on the ban list, you know, for good. I just think that's just like to test out, see how the Necros will work without it, and then they might bring it back depending on, you know, how well they work and how well they see them being used in like the YCS tournaments or like the local tournaments or whatever. But I just think that's just like a test move. I don't think that's like a something that is permanent. I don't think that's a permanent ban. So in the next format, I think we might see it come back to like to one. I think we might see it come limited. I don't see that being a card that stays on the ban list for too long. So Shrit was kind of like, that's like a toss up for me. Next up, we got El Shaddai Construct. Shouldn't be surprised by that. Evil Swarm Extinction, Extinction Night. Oh man, I see people. The reason why I'm laughing because I see, like in my mind, I have what I like to call an overactive imagination, and in my mind, like it just runs by itself. The imagination just runs by itself, and I can see people banging their head against the keyboard. The ones that use uh, that card, I could just see people banging their head against the keyboard, like no, 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 no. Like I could just see them being so mad and like flipping out and fucking flipping over coffee tables and and sofas and breaking windows and shit. Like so in my mind, that's just like it's hilarious. Me personally, I don't think that card is even a threat anymore. Honestly, I don't think it's a threat anymore. Because the effect can only be activated if you have more cards than your opponent. You know what I mean? Or like if your opponent has more cards than you. So going up against something that, you know, can, I honestly think that was a good counter for a lot of those swarm builds out there. I don't think that was like a wise move to ban it, in my opinion. I don't think that was a smart move. Excite tonight. Wait a minute, am I thinking of the right card? Let me go back. Evil Swarm. If I'm not mistaken, that's the one that's the Exceed Monster that blew. Yeah, okay, I was right. So yeah, that was actually like a good counter against a lot of swarm builds. Like I don't really see that being too much of like a card that should have been banned. I'm kind of looking at that in the same way that I'm looking at Shrit, because I don't really see that being a card that they're going to keep on the ban list. In my opinion, based on the way I've seen it used and the way that it's being used, I don't really see it being that much of a. I don't know. Maybe there was like a strategy somebody else was using to keep other cards off the field or something like that. I don't know. Or like trying to force your opponent into summoning more cards on their side of the field. I don't know. Maybe it was some type of strategy like that was going on that I didn't know about. But I don't really see that card stand on the ban list. Like I don't even see. So in my opinion, based on the way I've seen it being used, based on my experience, I don't see it. I don't really see a reason why they should have banned that. I think they should have just limited it. That's another call that I'm kind of iffy about. El Shadal Construct. Who cares? who really gives a fuck, right? So that was all the ban cards. That was all the ban cards. Yeah, but damn, man. As far like Shrit and Evil Swarm, Excite Tonight, those two are kind of iffy to me. I don't really agree with those too much. I think they would work better as limited. I don't think they should have just completely got rid of them. But again, like I said, this could be a test move to see how well these cards or how well the builds that normally would use them work without them. They're trying to see how well they work without them before they bring them back into the game again, if they plan on doing that at all. Or maybe there's some new stuff coming in the game that would have taken advantage of these cards' effects in an unfair way, and they're getting rid of it early. Kind of like what they did with Monster Reborn when that first got on the ban list. You know what I mean? So it could be that kind of situation going on. So I guess we'll just have to see within the next coming months what happened. But I don't. But in my opinion, as of right now, I don't agree with Shrit or Excite Tonight being being banned. I don't agree with those. All right. So now we're looking at the limited. Cleeford Scout, that's limited. Oh, that's what it was. Cleeford Scout. I said Husk in the beginning, but I'm not surprised that was, that happened. They needed to slow them down any fucking way. Graf Malenbronk of the Burning Abyss. I don't really see how that's going to hurt them at all. Honestly, I don't see how that's going to hurt them, because they still got a bunch of stuff. Like the Burning Abyss still have a lot of options. Like that one limit is not going to kill them. So that's no worry. Mathematician, that was actually a good card. I'm actually agreeing that they limited that. Necros of Bryanak, damn. Okay, Necros of Unicorn, damn. So they trying to kill the Necros, like they trying to force the people that's using Necros to move on to something else. I see. So they banned Shrit and they limited Bryanak and also a Unicorn. So they're trying to push people. So maybe it's a new archetype coming out that's kind of something new. Because I'm looking at this, because the way I look at a ban list is different from anybody else that you will see doing any type of review on this ban list. The way I review it is completely different than anybody else and everybody else. Because I'm also looking at the business side of it as well as the competitive side of it. Like I'm looking at both sides, so I think that's more of like a business move now that I'm looking at everything else. Because if they're doing this much, then it's a new archetype coming out that they're trying to push people towards using, and that way, they'll put more money into that, and they can make their money off of these new cards. So they're trying to move people away from that. And with Konami, they normally do that anyway. When it comes to certain archetypes being overused, what they will start doing is they will start banning or limiting certain cards in order to, like, slow down that archetype. And, with Konami, they normally do that anyway. When it comes to certain archetypes being overused, what they will start doing is they will start banning or limiting certain cards in order to, like, slow down that archetype. And, with Konami, they normally do that anyway. When it comes to certain archetypes being overused, what they will start doing is they will start banning or limiting certain cards in order to, like, slow down that archetype. And make the person or the people using said archetype go use something else so that they can make money off of that. Normally, this is when new stuff comes out and they want to push people towards using that. So I'm kind of seeing that as more so of like a business move. They don't really, you know, care for the sake of competition. I mean, if they're doing that much to get the Necrosses from being used, I guess they feel like they made their money off of the Necros already, and it's time to move on to something else. So that's the reason why they limited those two. Because I don't really see, again, Unicorn and Bryanak, I've went up against the Necros like several times. So personally, those two cards alone aren't a threat. Based on the builds that I've been using, like you guys know, I use my own custom build. So basically, I'm prepared for like anything that gets thrown at me. To the best of the abilities of the build that I'm using. So Necros, Bryanek, and Unicorn was never an issue for me. So So again, limiting those two and seeing Shrit being banned, they're trying to move people on into whatever new archetype they have coming out that's going to be like the next big hit. So I don't really see that being a reason. I don't really see it based on my experience. I don't see a reason why they should have limited those two and banned Shrit. But it is what it is. It happened. I don't really agree with it just based on my experience. Maybe other people had some different experiences. Maybe it was like a broken strategy or something that I never seen, or maybe it was something that I would have seen but I stopped and I'd never seen it, in action. So I don't know. But next up is Ritual Beast Ultra Hawk. It was kind of like a loop thing going on with that, but then again, like with the Ritual Beast and that whole thing, they're kind of like a loop where like you ban them, then get the monster back, and then you ban them again, and they don't. It was kind of loopy. Kind of Hawk was like whatever, It wasn't really, That's another card that I don't really see being that much of a threat because I never experienced it being a threat, So maybe somebody else, maybe they experienced it different. I mean, like they put it limited for a reason. So I really don't know. Next up, we have El Shaddai Fusion. So they're trying to slow down the El Shaddais. Reinforcement of the army got back on the got sent back to 1. So they must have some warrior archetypes coming out, because really I don't really see a reason why that happened. Either it was because of the elemental heroes or some other hero build that kind of took advantage of having that many reinforcement or that much search, and they decided, okay, 3 is too much, let's just put it back to 1, and now just rebalance everything, including whatever new warrior archetypes we have coming out. And that's the way I see that. I don't really see that, because it was nothing wrong with having, or at least again from my experience from playing the game, I don't really see a reason why reinforcement of the army needed to be back limited. That right there was kind of like confusing to me. So that one, I really don't agree with that. But I told them, it was like I said like years ago, if the elemental heroes are the reason why they are limiting reinforcement of the army back to 1, then they need to limit that one elemental hero search card. Just limit that, because it's a lot of warrior type builds out there that don't have any search options. Like Giant Rat would probably be like a stretch for him. So I don't really see why reinforcement of the army is limited. Maybe they're just thinking ahead again, like what they did with Monster Reborn last year. Was it last year or was it like the year before last? I don't remember. But I think it was last year though. But maybe they're thinking ahead. Maybe it's a new warrior type build archetype coming out, and maybe they'll think that maybe that has more search options, and they didn't want it to have too much search ability, so they just trying to cut their like that search option short, so that they won't have that when it does come out. So maybe that's what it is. But I'm guessing in the near future, something is going to make sense out of them doing that. So we'll see. But as it stands right now, I don't really agree with that happening. Next we have the semi-limited, and we have Sir or Seer, Marlon Brock of the Burning Abyss, and that's it. Again, the Burning Abysses aren't. I don't really see the Burning Abysses losing any steam here. I really don't. It's like they were good before, and they basically just run off of being searched, get killed, sent to the graveyard, search, or or whatever else they have going on. Like so they have Graph limited, and they got Sir semi limited. I don't see that being a problem for the Burning Abyss. They still have all their Dante options, and that's basically like the main goal of the damn archetype anyway, right? You have a synchro Dante, you have a fusion Dante card, and you have an exceed Dante card. I don't really see where like the slowdown is really supposed to happen. I think the Burning Abysses are going to be fine this upcoming format. Maybe they're going to be slowed down some, but not by much, because I just don't see them, slowing down too much. Like, they still have a lot of options, right? Like, they don't have to, like, they're not in a bad position. The Burning Abysses are not in a bad position at all. So let's look at what they have unlimited. Chaos Sorcerer finally came back. Legendary Six Samurai Shin came back. Spellbook of Fate, they brought that back. And Gear. Woohoo. So, the only issue right here is Legendary Six Samurai Shin. Was that the Exceed monster? Let's see, Legendary Six Samurai Shin. Oh no, that was a Synchro monster. Okay, so that is going to end up being a problem. That is going to be a problem. I guess they're trying to bring the Six Samurais back into back into action, kind of like Power Rangers, back in action. But yeah, I don't really see why they would unlimit that. Again, like, they could be a test move to see what will happen. Obviously, we know that the Six Samurais and the fucking Chaos builds are going to run crazy this next format. That's a gimme just based on what they have here. So they must have some new support for this. They must have some new warrior support coming, because I can't really see a reason why they would, put the Six Samurais, Six Samurai Shin. Which the big problem with that card was, when you compare that with like Great Shogun Shin, you basically got a complete lockdown of your opponent's back row, and it was kind of balanced out when Legendary Six Samurai Shin was at 1. So, in my opinion, that was stupid. Unless they have something new coming out that can shut that down, or unless they already have something out that can shut that down. You know what I mean? So, which they kind of do. They already have cards that can shut down that, which is probably the reason why they brought it back. So maybe it's a trap card or something that can prevent. I don't know. No, that's not it. No, like, I can't really think of anything just off the top of my head right now. Mind you, like, I did have to go to the ER like yesterday. Some of you know that already, and I can't really think straight anyway because I'm on medications. But as of right now, I can't see Legendary Six Samurai Shin being unlimited a wise move. So people are going to have to reform their strategies, and they're going to have to stop Legendary Six Samurai Shin for even coming on the field before it's synchro summon, so that they won't have those problems. So people just going to have to think ahead. That's all. That's pretty much what's going to have to happen. Chaos Sorcerer, I mean, just treat it the same way that you would do Blackluster Soldier Envoy at the beginning. I mean, that's pretty much, in my opinion, in terms of effects, that's kind of like a more balanced version of that anyway, right? Because when it uses its effect, it won't be able to move, right? So, yeah. Can't really say that Chaos Sorcerer is going to be a problem. Spellbook of Fate, whatever. Gear, whatever. So the only real surprises to me is Reinforcement of the Army, Brian Eck and Unicorn and Shrit. everything else seems to be a-okay. So these are the changes coming to the November 9th format, and that's the way things are going to be happening. So you guys tell me what you think about the new ban list. Do you agree with it? Do you disagree with it? What are some things that should have been on the ban list? What are some of the things that shouldn't have been on the ban list? I want to hear your opinions. So thank you guys for watching. Peace, and I'll see you guys next time.